All right, welcome back. Welcome back. You know boxing is starving and there's some funny business going on in boxing when a guy like Oscar De La Hoya says that he is serious about coming out of retirement and fighting. Let's talk about Oscar De La Hoya's return to boxing and what it actually means about the sport of boxing. Let's do that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So Oscar De La Hoya, without a doubt, Hall of Fame level fighter, no doubt about it. During his career, he fought pretty much everybody he had to fight. I don't think you can name too many people that you could really say that Oscar De La Hoya ducked outside of maybe a Winky Wright. But hey, the dude fought Bernard Hopkins. Got to give him a lot of credit. He didn't fight Winky Wright, but he fought Bernard Hopkins. So, you know, in the ring, Oscar De La Hoya was a beast. In the ring, Oscar De La Hoya is not like a lot of the fighters. Like, he doesn't have, and no disrespect to Terence Crawford, he does not have a Terence Crawford type of career where he has immense talent, obvious immense talent, but yet you never see him actually get in there with somebody that is, you know, a real legit fighter like a Pernell Whitaker or a Shane Mosley a couple times, or Felix Tito Trinidad, or a Bernard Hopkins, you know, Julio Cesar Chavez twice, which was a little older, but, you know, much respect for Oscar De La Hoya in his career. After his career, though, dude went off the deep end. Had one of the best promotional companies one of the biggest promotional companies, if not the biggest promotional company ever, in Golden Boy Promotions. They were absolutely and positively taking over the sport of boxing with what I always think of as Golden Boy East and Golden Boy West and Golden Boy South, but it was a partnership originally between Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya, and Shane Mosley. They brought in Floyd Mayweather Jr. and fought, you know, in co-promotional deals with Mayweather Promotions and Golden Boy Promotions. They had at that time all of the major fighters that the PBC has, plus Canelo Alvarez. The dude was just absolutely killing it, man. But then, because he likes to dust his nose too often, and whatever other problems he got going on, he just fell asleep at the wheel, and his whole organization fell apart. So now he's in a situation where only one fighter that he has at Golden Boy Promotions is able to keep that organization afloat. If it was not for Canelo Alvarez, Golden Boy Promotions would be right underneath Main Events and Ludabella Promotions as far as the level of talent that they have. From what I understand, they have got two major people. Well, actually, besides Canelo Alvarez, one major bit of talent. So it doesn't really surprise me that Oscar De La Hoya would say, hey, I'm considering to get a comeback, because if he did come back and if he did fight, he would be the biggest star he would be the second biggest star at Golden Boy Promotions. And he himself, even off an exhibition fight, would say, like, and he did an exhibition fight with Felix Tito Trinidad and put that on pay-per-view. Dude, that would make more money than any of the other fights that he puts on there at Golden Boy Promotions. So do I think he's serious about doing it? I think he's getting caught up in the same sweeping nonsense that's going on with, like, Mike Tyson talking about he's gonna come back. Evander Holyfield's gonna try to come back, right? At a certain point in time, man, I think you should really let sleeping dogs lie before you come out here and get hurt, for two reasons. Well, for one, you might get hurt, and second of all, dude, boxing has moved on, man. We do not need to continue to talk about the great fighters that took place, you know, in the early 2000s and in the like in Mike Tyson's case, in the 1980s and the 1990s, or Evander Holyfield. Like, we have enough fighters that we can put out front, that we can, as American boxing fans, to make the sport of boxing as good as it can be by having great fights amongst fighters who are really and truly in their prime and literally are the top level of boxers, instead of having these things like, I mean, I wouldn't quite call them freak shows, but you know, they're almost diversionary. They seem like diversionary tactics. Like if boxing was, you know, if it was just one person running all of boxing and you saw these type of fights being made, you know, and I saw these type of fights being made, I would think that this is some diversionary tactic, you know, so that we can get our eyes off the fact that most of the really good fights that we want to see in boxing cannot get made and probably will never get made. Like, or have it not, I wouldn't say probably will never be made, but you know, it'll be very, very difficult to get them over the line. Like the fights, the bigger the fight is, the more unlikely it is that we'll get to see it. So you have a focus being put on things like Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's comeback. And I have to tell, I think I've seen 100 articles over the last month. And I know I see at least 2 articles a day talking about Mike Tyson and how in shape he looks and how he's going to come back. And you see it in the less so about Holyfield, but now this. And besides that, you would see, you know, the YouTube fights between, like, if we can't find if it's impossible to make a really good fight, let's just get 2 people who are famous to punch each other. Like Logan Paul, I do believe his name is Logan Paul, and KSI. Ooh, you know, what a great fight. And we get version 1 and version 2 to be followed up by some other YouTuber fighting a football player, right? Like these are famous people. Antonio Brown is famous. Justin Bieber is famous. I'm thinking that Justin Bieber might fight Antonio. I can't remember who Antonio Brown said he wanted to fight, but maybe some other YouTube star. You know, Oscar De La Hoya is famous. Mike Tyson is famous. Evander Holyfield is famous. But if you were to actually sit and watch these guys in a fight, that's all you would be getting is seeing people with famous names fight. You might as well have, you know, like say, hey man, let's have Beyonce fight Meg Thee Stallion and call it a boxing match. And at the end of it, when a bunch of people watch it, say, oh man, that's really great for the sport of boxing. No, it's not, dude. These fights, to me, that's like saying that if you see a world, you know, that, you know, there's not a lot of fans that are really into table tennis. So if we just stop televising table tennis and we get the world championships, you know, if we put, you know, the world championships of beer pong on there, right? And have Michael Jordan play beer pong against LeBron James, and we'll make that the finale. But, you know, we'll have other real table tennis players, you know, play for, you know, 3 or 4 matches before that. And that's how we're going to grow the sport of table tennis, by selling you beer pong. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. And Oscar De La Hoya, what Oscar De La Hoya would be trying to do is not going to work. All it is, like I said, it's just something that diverts from what would really, in my opinion, what made me a true fan of the sport of boxing. Because I am, regardless of what you guys want to say, some of y'all want to say, because I know you listen to the videos, so I'll talk to you. I know sometimes, you know, your ego gets bruised because I don't give you the attention that you need. So I'll give you the attention that you need and say, hey, man, I'm a true boxing fan. And the reason that I'm a boxing fan is because of the great fighters and the great fights that I saw. And when you see great fights and great fighters put on exciting fights, then you want to see it again. When I see things like 2 guys named Paul Logan, KSI, or when I see an old steroid-induced Mike Tyson or an old steroid-induced Oscar De La Hoya get in the ring looking like bodybuilders, I still know that they're not the top level fighters. I mean, because that's the only way these dudes are. How old is Oscar De La Hoya? Oscar De La Hoya's got to be pushing 50, 46, 47 years old. Mike Tyson is actually, because he's older than, he's 46, 47 years old, somewhere around there. And you got Mike Tyson is well over 50. How in the world do you think these guys are going to get their bodies in that type of shape? Dude, just hard work and drinking water? No, man, they're not leaving that up to chance. Those dudes are hopping up on the juice. Just like a lot of these boxers are doing, like Alexander Boost Putin, who just had his B sample tested positive. And for some reason, I don't understand why it took them 6 months to test a B sample. Man, it's just some horse pucky, man. It's just some horse pucky. What Oscar De La Hoya needs to do is go find some real talent, go find good talent to sign with Golden Boy Promotions. Find somebody like and make big fights. Like make a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Jermall Charlo, right? That's going to make a bunch of money for you, Oscar. That would help the sport of boxing. Have Canelo Alvarez stay at 160 pounds, or see if you're boss Canelo, because, you know, Canelo going to do what Canelo want to do because he runs the show over there, at least monetarily. You know, have Canelo Alvarez unify a division at 160 pounds, right? Have the fight with Canelo Alvarez and Demetrius Andrade. Have the fight with Canelo Alvarez and Jermall Charlo, because that way, dude, more people actually get to see value in the fight. But to see Oscar De La come out there as a shell of himself, because dude, Oscar De La Hoya was a shell of himself for several fights before he retired, especially in that fight with Manny Pacquiao. But you know, with modern medicine, hey man, anything is possible. But that's my take on the matter. And notice that I did not get into Oscar De La Hoya and the other stuff about Oscar De La Hoya because, hey man, there are plenty of jokes I could have told, but I resisted it and I wanted to stick with boxing. But if you have some jokes in your mind, just, you know, understand they're in my head too, and we can have a good giggle. But anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace and thank you for coming. Share, like, and subscribe, all those good things. And with that, I'm out. Peace.